Jaguar been running very well, had a competitive run the first outing, but Apache Heritage is really steaming forward.
He seems to have things pretty much his own way, but look from the right of your screen, coming up the challenge as they come past checkpoint 1 is the inXS, and these two are going to lock up in the battle.
Oh, this is going to be a great battle. It's going to be interesting to see the power on the straightaways of Apache Heritage you see off to the right, and the onboard camera on inXS. inXS picking up time on the turns, but Apache Heritage showing the power. And speaking of turns right here, Budweiser hitting the first checkpoint.
And Art, he's going to be challenged by both the inXS on the right and the Apache Heritage on the left. inXS makes it a tight turn. Apache Heritage goes way outside. Budweiser in the middle. Can he hold the lead?
That was a great example of the construction of the boat, just making a better turn, a sharper turn of it. inXS the V-bottom, with Apache Heritage now putting out some power on the outside. Budweiser losing the lead on this back stretch. It's a lot rougher water back there, and the two superboats are now taking over. There you see the power plant action of Apache Heritage, but inXS has done a great job in grabbing the lead, cutting the corner a little quicker. Whoa, they're going right out of the water.
They have to be quick on those throttles right now. You can see Budweiser's dropped back to third. As we sweep, we go to second place is Apache Heritage, and way out in front now, inXS, as we look inside the cockpit of the lead boat.
Ted Savarese is the driver and owner, along with the crew chief, Throttleman Trace Martin, a veteran.
Again, it's Apache Heritage right now on the outside, knifing through the water, the roughest part of the course between checkpoint 1 and 2, and he's going to challenge inXS right here.
Oh, this is a great race. inXS had a pretty conservative throttle in the first race for this World Championship, but in the second race, they look like they're out there setting the pace.
Whoa, look at him hit those waves and launch off. Lots of water. As we said, this is the roughest part of the course.
You notice the canopy. I can remember the days that they didn't have a canopy, and Ted Savarese was telling me it's like driving in a convertible and standing up and then going over to the side of the road and taking the rocks in the face when you don't have a canopy. They've got it now, though, and it's a strong structure.
Look at the way the boat is riding now. They have to stretch out those outdrives. They have to come off those waves. Throttleman has to be fast. And on the right side, the inXS, this fountain boat, can feel the pressure of Apache Heritage coming up on his right side.
Apache Heritage, a 47-foot Apache with three 1,000 horsepower Mercury engines. The owner, Patrick Mercurio, and Omar Danial out of Monaco is the driver, with the veteran Richie Powers on the throttles.
Here in lap 1, this is the battle for Superboat supremacy. Back in third slot overall, but leading in class, open class, is the Budweiser. As we come down to checkpoint number 2, look at the challenge of Apache Heritage and inXS.
Well, this is one of the favorite courses of Apache Heritage. They ran very well here last year, winning the V-bottom class at that time. They also set a speed record for V-bottoms this year, 126.382 miles an hour, surpassing a great Tom Gentry record.
Art, they're really racing side by side, getting dangerously close as we look from the inboard camera on inXS to his challenger, and a slight lead by Apache Heritage. They're really coming off those waves, Art.
It'll be interesting, too, to see how long these complicated multi-engine boats can keep this type of pace.
They have all winter to repair. Get ready for next year as we look out the window of inXS, looking at, whoa, a nice chine there by the Deep V Hull, Apache Heritage, as we come close now to the turn at checkpoint 2, and these boats are still pretty close together.
Oh, this is terrific superboat competition. It's usually considered a fine superboat tight race if you're a minute ahead of the other opponent.
They're leaping a good 50, 60 feet out of the water before they come back down as they go into the turn now. Apache Heritage don't go as wide as he did on turn number 1, and whoa!
He hooked it. inXS hooked it just a little bit too much. They're still up and running, though, and they'll get back into the race.
Now the course starts to get smoother, Art, which means that the hooking of inXS is a big advantage to Apache Heritage. They're on the smooth spot of the course as we look at a replay from inside the cockpit of inXS. And it's the number 50 boat, the Apache Heritage, lap number 1, 92 miles an hour. Going by the Ocean Key House, and here is inXS, second in Superboats, but making up the distance, 1.4 miles off the pace, averaging 90.6. this unit, Budweiser is still in the running.
Well, after another great start, Budweiser leading the open class averaged 87.4 miles per hour, which was remarkable in rough seas like this. But now they face a really tough duel with recovery.
Apache Heritage, second race in a row that they've had a great battle with inXS. inXS winning the first round, of course. Now, should Apache Heritage take the second round and inXS place second, it would go to the average speed that would determine the world champion. Apache Heritage looking unbeatable right now, making it look so easy in the rough parts and flying over the slick water, forcing inXS not to be conservative and equipment saving that they would like as we watch out their boat.
When you're in second place like this boat, inXS, you must continue to press the leader. You can see the leader going through the turns at the top of your screen. That's the boat right there to beat, which is Apache Heritage. We're inside the inXS once again, and he's taking on water. That white water that you see on the right side of this boat is that of the leader, Apache Heritage, as he goes out to open seas to start another lap. Boy, that boat for a big boat sure is riding smooth today, Art.
Well, it appears that Budweiser has had some problems. Hugo holding the hatch up. Jeff is frantically moving around trying to make something right in there. But at the moment, they are just flat dead in the water. And with the way recovery has been running, the kind of time that they've lost already will probably mean the race. Don't drop the hatch, Jeff.
That'd be a great way to end the day, wouldn't it? But it clears the way for recovery in the open class. Here's Apache Heritage. Big lead in the Superboat class right now. As inXS, we take a look from the boat, is having their problems. They dropped a drive at about the fourth lap and slowed them down considerably. They still have a pretty good trim, Jim.
Well, this is your leader in the Superboat class once again. Apache Heritage having things pretty much his own way so far today as we go back inside the cockpit of inXS, coming towards the beer house. And it seems that the boat is going to be slowing down. Here is a bird's eye view of a problem that this crew has. Yes, they are slowing down. The engines are dying.
Well, they've been going without an engine for some time and just trying to keep the points and stay in competition for the world title after winning the first round. But, oh, what an eerie, eerie sound is no sound.
Yeah. Listen to the discussion in the cockpit. You know for sure as competitors are going to try to get it started again as we go back to Apache Heritage, the leader in Superboat class.
La Nueva Argentina now moves into second place with the breakdown of inXS. Second in Superboats anyway. They're just remaining persistent, but Apache Heritage still shows the power they've seen the entire race.
They're trying to start. Let's listen.
Trace Martin, you can tell, must have worked feverishly to get this boat working again. Ted and Rick Savarese, along with Trace, the mechanic and crew chief.
I think they're only on one engine, Art.
It certainly sounds like it. It'll be interesting to see if they try to finish the race on the water or just bring it in. Great competitors, and I know they've got to be very frustrated at this moment.
You're not going fast, but we can't tell you what's wrong yet. Right now, we're looking at the inXS from the outside. They're trying to pick up some speed, but they don't have all the cylinders going at the same time, to be sure.
The power that's been shown by Apache Heritage has just been phenomenal. They have 3 engines in that boat, but each engine is the equal of 3 Corvette engines in horsepower. There they go right now. Richie Powers is the well-known Throttleman of that boat, and we caught up with him yesterday in the dry pits. He was right in the middle of that power plant.
These engines are putting out 1,000 horsepower apiece. They're basically based on a big block Chevrolet supercharged engine. One of these engines would power 2 of the current Winston Cup cars right now. 3 of these motors power 6 of them. So it kind of gives you an idea of exactly the horsepower that we're talking about here. Cost-wise, we're about $60,000 a piece per engine, which includes a stern drive. So you can see by all of these engines, all of this equipment, not only the cost of the boat, but it gets very expensive to run these things.
Still out for a Sunday drive and leading in Superboat class is the Apache Heritage, having things pretty much its own way here today.
Our onboard camera, onboard inXS, isn't going very fast.
No, he's not. In fact, they're heading back to the dock. They've had a fine day, a lot of racing, but as Trace Martin just shrugs his shoulder, he knows this is all part of the game. Here's where they lost it. inXS challenging for the lead at checkpoint 2, comes in, tries to make a tight turn, hooks the boat. That gives the advantage to the Apache Heritage, heading for smooth water. He's never been headed since.
A very proud onboard owner, too, of that Apache Heritage is Patrick Mercurio, along with Richie Powers at the throttle. The driver's Omar Danial. He started his driving career in race cars. He's run the GTU class in the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Well, the main difference between turning a car and a boat, you use the steering in the car to control the spin out of the car in a turn. In a boat, you control the steering of the boat by not letting it roll over in a turn. So you keep it leaning in the turn. The other main difference is that when you race a car, you race it on a street or a track, and you usually know the track very well. Whereas when you take a boat out, there's always this anticipation that the sea is going to be different, and you never know what the conditions are going to be. So you're always reacting in a boat, whereas in a car you're acting because you know exactly what the conditions are going to be.
Physically taxing, yes, but the art of driving is even more mentally draining with those ever-changing seas.
We're on the last leg of the Key West World Championships here as we look down at the Apache Heritage, who's had a very fine day. We'll be heading for the docks to talk to all the winners.
Well, Patrick, nothing can be finer than a world championship for an owner.
That's fantastic. That's Apache water today was great.
Omar, did you ever have any apprehensions out there on the water? After all, you did have a battle with inXS there for a while.
On the first lap, it was very close. We got to that second turn. inXS was right by us. We took them right there, and from there on, I think we had the upper hand. Next thing I knew, we had 3/4 of a lap over them, and by the time we lapped them, our only worry was to hold back the throttles and keep going, have the equipment running, and not run out of gas.
Oh, Richie, you had a special smile on your face, a twinkle in your eye before this day started. Did you know what's going to happen?
I knew it was going to be rough water, and that was our day. The 47 Apaches with the Mercruiser power, just unbelievable equipment, and I don't think there's anything around that'll ever beat it.